Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's action figure showcase, we're not necessarily looking at a tag team, not necessarily looking at a stable. We're just kind of looking at a trio of guys. We're checking out Money Inc. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today we're going to take a look at my Money Inc. collection. And if you're not aware who Money Inc., Money Incorporated was, it was Ted DiBiase back in the day. He had guys in his stable, and he had got a lot of guys he managed, but I'm specifically looking at him, IRS, and Virgil today. These figures we almost have gotten all official releases. We have actually gotten a $1 Million Man in just his suit here. We've got him in his wrestling attire. We've gotten IRS. We've gotten Virgil. We have not gotten Virgil in his ring attire though, and I don't know if we're going to. I was shocked we even got a figure of him at all. The meat sauce man himself does not shy away from controversy or poor takes on the internet, so it was a shock a little bit to see him getting his own figure. Nonetheless, I have my collection of them that I am happy with, so we're going to start out today checking out the $1 Million Man here in his Legends form, I believe. This was the Legends figure we got, and I am pretty sure this is a head swap. I think we got like a generic kind of just like dull look on his face, $1 Million Man head on this suited figure. So I put on the like laughing, he's doing his $1 Million Man laugh, and that is what I thought would fit best on this figure. But the issue is that he is really short. The IRS figure that we got an Elite 43 is too tall, and this $1 Million Man is too short. And you'll see at the end here when I give you the group shot, like they just use short legs on this $1 Million Man, and it's a shame because outside of that, I think this figure's awesome. I really like that they molded the suit. They got the nice gold accent on there. We did get the chase, which I think is the silver and pink that matches the Virgil figure we got, and then we got just double jointed arms. I don't know if it's a Build-A-Figure body that might make it easier. I could try and fix it up, but we got the white boot or the black boots with the white soles and laces, and overall I think just on itself, you look at it, it's a really nice figure. Just some minor tweaks that I think really could have given us a definitive $1 Million Man. Next up here we have IRS, Irwin R. Shyster, and if you're not aware, this is actually the dad of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Mike Rotunda is his real name, and what is Bray's? Wyndham Rotunda, and then honestly I don't remember what Bo Dallas's real name is. Something Rotunda. Anyway, this is IRS, the other part of the tag team of Money Incorporated, and this was in Elite. Oh, what Elite set did he come in? 43? Man, totally blanking now. I think I said that earlier, and now I don't remember if that is right. I think he came in the same set as the Hart Foundation. And just a glance at this, I think they did a really cool job. They did give us like some new stuff when we got this figure. So he's got the molded on t-shirt on his biceps. He's got the suit torso that's got the red tie. And I don't know if we got it with some of the other suited figures, because it's not like a Build-A-Figure torso. It's a normal torso that like the shoulders don't just pop in and out of. And then the head scan itself is okay. He comes with glasses that I think make it look a little better, but they're tiny and they don't like stick on. They just kind of sit there, so those are really easy to lose. And I know I do have them. I've seen them relatively recently when I kind of cleaned up my figure room, but I didn't put them on because I know they're just going to fall off. So like I said with $1 Million Man, $1 Million Man was too short, and this IRS was too tall. They gave him the same suit legs that they had used with a lot of their previous suit figures that just were too big. So it was too tall, and it hasn't bothered me enough to go and change, because I don't even know if I have like some accurate shorter legs that would look good. He's got some pretty unique parts with the torso and everything, so like there's not a lot of ways that you can kind of fib that height with him. So I've just kept him the way he is, and honestly, I think the figure itself looks really, really good. It's just the height that bothers me, and like I said, you'll see at the end when I get everyone together, the heights are pretty wildly off, but aesthetically, we've got some pretty nice looking figures. So we're going to move on to the next official Mattel release that we've got in the Money Inc. group. Next up, we have Virgil, and this was part of the Network Spotlight, I think. It was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it came out like when Toys R Us was starting to go out of business in the US. So I got this figure super, super cheap, and I did end up picking up like an extra, and you'll see what I used that extra for at the end here. But this figure is actually pretty cool. Again, height-wise, it fits with the $1 Million Man figure because they use like the same, I'm pretty sure it uses the same torso and legs. So they're about the same height, which is fine, but then IRS is like a giant next to them. So I think they made Virgil's arms a little, I think they gave him a little extra credit on the arms. They saw all the work that he was doing on the internet, going to Olive Garden, eating meat sauce, showing up to wrestling conventions and sitting by himself the whole time, overcharging fans for autographs, and they said, let's give this guy a little bit bigger biceps. Maybe that'll help him out. So we've got Virgil here, and next to that $1 Million Man, you'll see, I think it looks great. He was always just kind of like that side guy. He did have his storyline where he got away from $1 Million Man, and it was over. It was big. He got a big pop when he turned on him, and it never really turned into anything else. Virgil is just way more well known now for talking about meat sauce and talking about Olive Garden and plenty of other outlandish things. So not necessarily someone I love in my collection. He's just kind of someone that I need for this group. Next up is $1 Million Man in his wrestling attire, and if I'm being honest, this head scan sucks. It is boring. He was always a very expressive person. Obviously, his laughing head scan that I have on the other figure, I just think you need a laughing $1 Million Man for that, and this was the only $1 Million Man head I had left, and I think it's just boring. Like, it came with a basic, I think, into like his white attire, and we absolutely needed this figure, but the head scan just, man, like, I don't know what they were thinking. I just think it's just not a good representation of Ted DiBiase, and it's really small. So, height-wise, this figure is good. They have normal parts to use. They made him about the height he should be. He's got the tall black boots that look really good. He's got the dollar signs on the side of his trunks and the side of his boots as well. I don't remember what line he was in. I don't think it was a Legends. I think maybe like Hall of Champions. Man, someone's going to have to remind me. I don't remember. It wasn't the normal Elite set. It was like an exclusive or something. But overall, I like the figure. It did come with the $1 Million belt, and I have a few of those. I just don't know. I have it on like my Cameron Grimes, my Ringmaster figure with Steve Austin. But overall, this is probably out of the official releases we've got of Ted DiBiase and Virgil IRS, this is probably my favorite. I just think this is the best representation, and this did originally have that laughing head scan, and I think that's a really good head scan, so this is probably my favorite overall figure. But lastly, we've got my custom of Virgil. Last but not least, we have wrestling superstar Virgil. And as a kid, I thought Virgil was so cool, and I don't even know why. I went back, I've said before, I was born in 1992, so like my view of the golden era was all on VHS tapes, Coliseum tapes, where I went back, I watched all this old wrestling, and I remember people being so pumped when Virgil turned on Ted DiBiase when he beat him up, and like my perception of Virgil was just way different than was just like, was so far removed from what it actually was like. Like, people forgot about him so fast. He went to WCW, he was a background guy, and now he's just a punchline. But I wanted him in his wrestling attire in our collection. Like I said, I don't think we're going to get a Virgil release again. Who knows? We could, I mean, you never know now. We could get an exclusive somewhere. We've gotten weirder stuff, but I wanted him in his Hasbro attire. So he's got red knee pads. He's got the like boxer shorts that were all white. I did paint up like onto his torso because his tights went up pretty high. I used a Virgil decal, and I don't know, you can't see it super well with the lighting, but it says Virgil in red letters. I got red down the side. Got double jointed arms that I think are from an Apollo figure. So the torso, I think this whole thing is an Apollo Crews figure. Obviously not the head. And then I gave him some different boots that are red with the red laces, or white with the red laces, which I think are from an extra Tito Santana. Tito Santana Legends figure that if you've been collecting for a few years, you know that it was not hard to grab a Hall of Champions Tito Santana figure. Those sat at Target forever and somehow didn't really clearance. They just kind of disappeared slowly into the night. Anyway, so here's my Virgil. I like I said, I really wanted a Virgil like this. I don't think we're going to get one. I was surprised that they must have had a plan to make more, since they just gave him the matching Money Inc. attire. You'd think that if they were going to have one shot, they'd give a guy his wrestling attire, but who knows? Maybe they thought we really wanted the servant, or whatever he was called, the sidekick of Ted DiBiase. We'll just go with that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get this group shot of all of them. You'll see what I've been talking about with the height discrepancies. They're all over the place. They're not great. Maybe one day we'll fix them up, but today is not going to be that day. I'm just going to show you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. And here we are. Here's our group shot of Money Inc. And, you know, maybe I lied a little bit about the Ted DiBiase's. So I know when I did switch the heads, it helped the height a little bit. So, like, it made that suited figure look a little bit taller. And then clearly it made the DiBiase and his ring attire look a little bit shorter. Because if you look at them, they're about the same height. But then you look over at IRS, and that dude is ginormous. He is way too tall. He towers over Virgil. He towers over all of them. And I didn't look up their height specifically, but I know that he's not that tall. So something, you know, I'll fix it down the line if I really feel like it. I can kind of hide that height on the shelf, so it's not the end of the world. But together, I'm happy I have them, because they were Ted DiBiase more was a big deal during the golden era, during his time as a wrestler, as a manager. You can't have a collection without the $1 Million Man, and you can't have $1 Million Man without Money Inc. So that is going to wrap up today's showcase. If you like the showcase episodes, please go check out the playlist that's going to pop up here. Got a bunch of them, got a bunch of different ones. And obviously we've got more coming in the future. So if you guys have any suggestions, I'll throw some more stables together from my collection that I have to talk about. Got some tag teams, got all kinds of stuff that I would like to talk about eventually. So like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy figures. And everybody's got a price.